This week in comic books, we get a reimagining of the Penguin and Batman's first meeting and how they even worked together for a while for the most nefarious purposes possible. In Marvel, we get the resurrection of Magneto, which wasn't really about his resurrection until the very last page. And in Independence, man, we get Ghost Machine. And I'm going to tell you right now, that whole Geiger universe thing is going to be that's hot right now. I'm going to tell you why that and a few other comic books, but as always, I got to try to sell you some coffee. So check this out. Hey, what's going on, folks? This is your boy Pocan Joe to talk to you about Coffee Brand Coffee. We serve people that are tired of gimmicky advertising and branded companies that want to lecture you. At Coffee Brand Coffee, all we want to do is serve you freshly roasted coffee wherever you're at, whenever you want it. Consider Coffee Brand Coffee. Check us out, check our reviews out, and use promo code POCANJOE or the link down in the description to save yourself some money. Give me the opportunity to get you a delicious cup of coffee. Alright, weirdos, so just to show you, I just got my K-Cups in. Oh, yes. I use these at work for our little machine there. Good stuff. Definitely check it out. Make sure you use the link and my promo code and save yourself some money. But that's not why you're here. You're here for comic book review. So let's go ahead and kick this off with Penguin number 6. So, of course, I went with this cover. It's dark, it's ominous, and it kind of makes sense to the story as well once you kind of look into it. So this is nothing more than a reimagining of the first time Batman and Penguin met and even worked together, where Penguin was an informant because he was bartending at the Iceberg Lounge working for Mahoney's mob. So this entire thing was nothing more than a flashback, right, of how they first worked together, and then come to find out that it was all just a big plot so Penguin can advance and eventually take over the Iceberg Lounge and all that. So what's the hang up with this issue? My hang up is it's kind of late for it. Like the timing of this issue coming out, where we're watching the Penguin kind of regain his army, right? Mobster's back. And then all of a sudden you throw this random, in the beginning, flashback. This would have made more sense, and this is just my humbled opinion, if in the beginning where you were talking about why the Penguin's coming back and why he needs to come back, you kind of threw some of this stuff in there as sort of a flashback instead of just doing one whole issue at number 6 as a flashback. It really kind of took you out of the current story right now to kind of tell you this other thing real quick. I wasn't a fan of that. I did like the story, I should say that. I still love the artwork in it. It's gruesome, it's dark, there's a lot of good stuff in here. But as far as flow goes, it just didn't make sense, because now I'm thinking about how this would come off if it was in a trade back or all put together in some way, shape, or form. You know, it's just one random flashback issue all of a sudden. I don't know. It's not a sitcom. You don't need to throw in a random flashback episode, right? I don't know. What do you think? Let me know. That's the only DC book that I picked up this week that I was even remotely interested in. So let's go ahead and jump into our Independence. We get Skeeters number 2 come out. This is fun. Independents are killing it this year, and I have high hopes going forward with not only Image, but several other comics. This is from Man Cave, by the way. So we get a shady government agency doing experiments on what we thought to be mosquitoes at that time. They make a hybrid mosquito that comes around. Of course, it escapes because that's the movie trope and invades this kind of small, redneckish kind of town. With, your usual tropes involved in it. This is great. And it's not great because it's predictable. It's great because of the humor that it actually adds into it, kind of being meta at the same time. We also find out that the thing that transforms the Skeeters, if you will, is actually from outer space, which I kind of like that aspect of it. So now we're dealing with more of a sci-fi horror than just a horror monster thing. I thought that was great. I thought that was smart. And of course, we get our first attack and we kind of learn what it can do. It can transform, right, us into these kind of Skeeter type monsters, zombie kind of things. It's very, very, very highly stylized artistic work in it. Great one-liner humor in it. And you kind of get the small town feel to it, which didn't make sense to me while I was reading it. I was like, why does this feel like a small town to me? Like, how am I relating to that? And it was just great. It's great. That's all I got to say about it. Go get it. You're only on issue 2. You should be able to pick up the other ones. I don't hear a whole lot of other people in the community talking about it, but I think they should be because it is fun. All right, moving on. Another great independent this week, guys. We got Ghost Machine. So if you're not up to speed, Geiger ended. Junkyard Joe ended. And then we found out that they're going to create a whole universe around this, right? And taking more characters. Some of the characters are a little bit of a, who Redcoat is, who was mentioned in the Geiger series. Who is he? Why is he like the forever man, the immortal guy, right? That was pretty cool. The Northerner, right? Another forever type character. Immortal. Union soldier from back during the Civil War. Right? And then all of a sudden we kind of start getting these kind of previews for these other stories that I just thought were great. One is Rook Exodus, where we deal with some people that were promised a better life on another planet, and it's basically just turned into tribalism and like the worst dystopian possibility you can get. Some fun humor in this too. I love the fact that they're adding a lot of fun and humor into this stuff. Family Odyssey was another good one where we meet a family called the Rockefellers who kind of have a unique family dynamic involved into them. And then kind of on the same theme, we're going to be dealing with adolescent psychology a little bit. There's something for you. Where we kind of deal with this Halo. Yeah, Hornsby and Halo comic. This is pretty good. We're dealing with angels and demons, and we're dealing with kids and kind of the nature-nurture type aspect of it all. They mentioned that in the story. So I'm on board with all these. Oh, and also this one, Hyde Street. I'm guessing this is going to be more of a creep show kind of story where you'll get like different types of, you get what you ask for type stories. 'Cause that's how this kind of came off to me. I could be wrong on that, but I just love that they came out with this because it's easy to forget a comic book series when it first comes out and you haven't read it for a while, and then to get a reminder like this to remind you of the great artwork and the great storytelling and the fact that they can be fun and humorous at the same time. So I thought that was smart. So definitely pick of the week. It's a newer comic book. It only gets 2. All right, next, going into Marvel, we get Thawne Alliance. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I know my Star Wars cats out there. I know you're about to crack your knuckles and start getting on the keyboard, but hear me out for a second. I didn't like the Thawne character in the last show. And I don't find Thawne particularly interesting. I know. Did you watch the Clone Wars or the stuff from the... I did. I've watched it all. And again, I'm still a component of getting more information about something doesn't make it better in the future. Right? Like, they've really just kind of mismanaged this character. And in this story, again, he comes off kind of boring. And in this one, he teams up with Vader. Again, more of an origin story of how these two started working together back in the day. Lots of flashbacks in this. Irrelevant flashbacks, too. Apparently, they've done some damage throughout the universe. They're sailing through space. Some mass woo-woo messing with hyperdrive pathways. Like, it just kind of took you everywhere except for why they're doing any of this. Palpatine, there's a disturbance in the Force. That's all you got. And it was just like, I don't know. The hype on Thawne is just something I'm not on board with. He seemed incompetent in the show. In this, he kind of seems like more like a butler, an overly sophisticated butler. And in the past cartoons, yeah, there were some interesting things about him. But again, I'm not like he's a great strategist. I don't even so he can play chess. I don't get the hype. He just seems like an incompetent military man to me. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. What do you think? If you're a Thawne fan, why are you a Thawne fan? I'm gonna ask you now. Whatever the case is, I'm not trying to get into an argument about it, but what am I missing about this character that people are drawn to? Is it because he's blue? It's like I like Smurfs, but I don't like this guy. I don't know. It's weird. All right, moving on. We get the resurrection of Magneto. So Magneto's coming back. Because nobody dies in comic books. Let's just be honest. But this story's more about Storm and her quasi role in the resurrection of him. It was kind of hard to tell. Like, we knew he was coming back throughout the story, but again, loads of flashbacks, loads of going into an afterlife, loads of how great Storm is. And she is. She is a great character. There's no doubt about that. And all the things that she is, right? Just everything that she is, all in there. And don't worry, if you don't know what those things are, it will be pointed out to you in narration. But it didn't seem like it really went anywhere. Like, it was like, yeah, I like Storm. Storm's a cool character, right? Control the weather, got it. Warrior, mother, goddess, got it. Super cool, got it. Boss girl, got it. Why are we telling this story? Like, we got it. So, yeah, it didn't do much for me. I kind of missed the boat on this. And honestly, the current X-Men run, Powers of X, Fall of X, all this kind of stuff, it's all just been kind of missed for me. So I've been avoiding a lot of it, to be fair. To be fair. But, I don't know. It just seemed like a lot of narration and disposition over the background of a character. Then, like, why would Magneto even want to come back? You'd think that would be in his resurrection story. It wasn't. All right, moving on. Something else I'm kind of having a problem with, and I need your help out there in the community. So we got Punisher number 3. This is our Joe character. In this one, he's dealing with Fearmaster. Now, some solicitation, or some people in the community have said, hey, this is a first appearance of Fearmaster. And unfortunately, it's not. That's not accurate. So in Punisher 2099, issue 2, there was a character named Fearmaster who had a lot of the similar powers of this one. The only difference is this one's female. Because that's what we do now, and that's fine. Whatever. What's cool about this is we're taking an action comic that has had 2 explosive action scenes to it, and we're kind of putting more of a psychological thriller onto it, because now we're introducing regret and fear, and how regret and fear can kind of work together. Remember the death of his family, he blamed on himself. So in this, of course, he sees zombies and dead people of his family that are being kind of projected to him through this Fearmaster character. Okay. It's a little psychological there. We get some police action in there as well to kind of show that, he's not just allowed to run out there and do whatever he wants. There is some consequences to his actions as well. But then we throw in this, it's not really his fault thing. Okay. It seems like we started off with 2 explosive issues in here, and now we're trying to get deep into something, and I don't know if it's being explained properly, right? Because, yeah, there's a lot of fear from, like, things you regret, doing it again. There's a fear there, right? I think we could all relate to that to some degree. But do we really need another character to push or influence onto it, especially when we don't even understand why this character's in the story? They just kind of threw us into the middle of this chase. I don't know. I don't know if it fits well. I'm still deciding on that one. So we're out on that one for right now. We'll see what happens in issue 4. That's it. I told you it was going to be a short haul this week. I want to thank you all for coming by as always. Keep your eyes open. We do the Mondays and Fridays releases where we're putting out comic books. Right now we're doing the first series of 1601. So if you've ever wanted to know what 1601 was about, the Marvel 1601 universe, I'm doing all the issues of that first run for you out there. Some of them have already released. I had to kind of break some of it up, but it will be in order in my thing in the front page there. Evil Air Project's coming out here soon, and we got Planet Comic Con, the National Veterans Art Competition, and of course we got Heroes Con coming up. Lots of things coming up. 2024 is shaping out to be a good year. So I hope to see y'all around out there. Definitely let me know what you thought about this review down below, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.